Do you ever see the TikToks or YouTubes or whatever that somebody has quit their job and they're like living in a van?
Van life.
Yeah. Or they're like sailing, or they're, they have a hobby farm or something. It seems super peaceful.
Doing the Pacific Coast trail line or whatever. That takes people just quitting their jobs and walking.
There is an urge, right?
Hell yeah. There's
to step out of what you're doing and going, you know what? I'm just going to leave the world behind and now can't do it with kids. I'll just tell you that. So there's no leaving them behind. The actual, you have to be at a really interesting place, I think, in your life to actually take that step.
Yeah, that's scary.
Because it's not only is it scary, but it's what if, how do you make money? Right. And I have one of my buddies from high school his name's Mark Harrison. That is all he does. He'll literally say, he'll put on YouTube or Instagram or something like that and go, where am I going next? And people will be like, go to Kabul in Afghanistan.
How does he have the money?
And he'll go and he'll video himself in the market in Kabul.
Wait a second. Is he does he have
He's got a pretty good following, yeah.
I feel like I've seen him.
You probably have, yeah. He also he was also one of the best athletes at our school.
No way.
And one of the first videos he did that went viral, he's on the side of a mountain, and they give you those 2 planks of wood to walk along.
Yeah.
And he's holding up a GoPro camera, and he's he almost slips, and he goes, whoa, and he's free climbing, and it's way. Thousands of feet low. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. And I haven't seen him in years, but knowing Mark, this is the perfect career for him. I don't know how he makes money still, but there must be.
He's monetizing views, I'm sure.
Has to be monetizing views. So, but I've never asked him. I probably should just DM him and ask him, hey man, why did you decide to do this?
Yeah.
And one of the ones that I've been following along, have you guys seen Sailing with Phoenix? Have you ever seen these guys?
The guy and his cat.
The guy and his cat.
The sweetheart and his cat.
Sailing to Honolulu.
Yeah, and they're on their way and they're so excited.
So he's from Oregon and he's got a cat named Phoenix. And they actually made it this past weekend to Honolulu.
He did make it. Good.
And it's the guy and his cat. So it's this guy and his cat, and they're on this sailing boat. And what I always ask again is what is the thing that gets you to the point where you go, I'm going to do this, right? And so what I thought was interesting was, so he quit his 11-year career at a tire company, liquidated his 401k, which is his retirement, sold all his belongings and bought a sailboat, and he never sailed before. And so what was interesting was
scary.
He said, I was tired of running the corporate America rat race because he had a chronic neck injury. And he said, I run the risk of being paralyzed. He said, I've got Kepefel. They never make these easy to
I know. I want to hear you figure it out.
Kepefel syndrome.
Ooh.
I'm sorry if I got that wrong.
I bet you did.
He said, I found out 3 years ago. I got diagnosed. So all my cervical vertebrae are fused.
Oh, shoot.
And they're all missing discs. And he said, the doctor described it as, I have the spine of somebody who's 115. And he said, so he bought a sailboat from the 1990s. He lived on it for a year to figure out how to use it. He didn't know how to maintain it. He didn't know how to sail it. He didn't know how to do anything. And he has amassed 1.7 million Instagram followers.
He'll make money off just that. Yeah.
1.2 million TikTok followers and 35,000 followers on YouTube. Now, YouTube's hard to get followers on. It's really difficult. But I was like, to me, that makes sense. If you've got, first off, you got a spine like that, sailing's not easy.
It's not easy. Also, back injuries, I mean, they are brutal. My mom had a spinal fusion when I think she was 41. Ooh. And I remember my mom was an emergency nurse for years. So her back was thrown from lifting. There's so much lifting. And we went to the Dominican to an all-inclusive the year before, because she had to wait for a while to get her spinal fusion. And before that, and she was like, I don't know if my back will ever, I may not be able to do anything after this. It's either going to get a lot better, stay the same, or it's going to get mostly worse. And a lot of people, it gets worse. So she was like, I want to go parasailing. I want to go on the banana boat. And Jesus, did she ever, she was on the banana boat so hard, her back, but she was like, I want to be able to,
I want to do this.
I want to be able to do this because I don't know if I can again. And back stuff is so hard.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's so hard. And it's really, really debilitating, also isolating. So good for this guy. He also seems like a sweetheart in all the interviews.
Yeah,
he's
so
seems
nice.
Like
just a really nice guy.
He's so nice. Yeah.
So I was like, I wanted to bring that story up because I was like, nobody, ever really talks about what's the reason other than like, oh, like I'm a bit of a free spirit and I like, I just don't need that life. And I'm like, no. There's like a reason though. Give me the real reason.
Yeah.
Give me that, because I'm nosy.
What are you looking for? What are you running from? Is usually.
And by the way, we're all looking for and running from something.
That's what, absolutely.
I'm down. I just want to hear it.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was kind of cool. And like, what an inspirational way to do it. Now, here's my question for you.
Oh.
As somebody who grew up on the coast, how much sailing did you do?
I've never sailed.
Have you never sailed?
No, I've never sailed.
Never been on a boat with a sail?
No, I've never sailed.
Never been on a catamaran?
No, I don't think I've ever been on a boat with a sail. I used to do.
How do you grow up in Halifax, Nova Scotia, one of the biggest natural harbors in the world?
I grew up in Dartmouth.
Dartmouth is on the harbor.
But there's a very big difference between Dartmouth and Halifax. Like Halifax, you have the Arm, and like maybe, like I didn't grow up yachting on the Arm. But I grew up, Adam, I was a part of Micmac Paddling Club. And I was, Adam, why are you laughing so hard?
I love it. It's so perfect.
I was at Micmac Paddling Club and I was part of the War Canoe crew.
Oh, War Canoe's hard.
It was very, very hard. And also I did K4 and K1.
Not easy either.
Not easy. And because you have to get your balance, they call it.
Yeah, War Canoe is like where you have a knee up and a knee down and the oar is above like your head, right?
And you're just sailing through Lake Charles. But I did K1, but because I didn't have my balance, because I couldn't sit in my seat, so I had to sit. I couldn't use a seat because I couldn't balance it, so I had to sit on the bottom. So I always tipped it, and then I wouldn't make it very far in the races because I was always tipping. And my parents didn't put me in the second year because it was a waste of money.
Wow.
So no, I haven't sailed.
Why was it a waste of money? Just because
I wasn't good at it. No, I think that they mostly. It was very.
Man, if my parents had done that with hockey, I would have been out after year one.
It's very expensive to paddle, and I think
it is.
I think that it was good for me to have a place to go, but they also
good for you to have a place to go. I like that.
But then I started getting into weed.
Oh,
yeah, and they were like, "You need
weed and snacks, man.
Weed and snacks."
Dangerous.
Yeah. So, but no, I haven't sailed. I am going on a boat this weekend, though. This upcoming weekend, it's my friend's birthday.
Okay.
So we're all going on a boat down by Cabana.
That's, by the way, if it's a sunny day, have you ever done boating in Toronto?
No, you can like rent private yachts.
I'm telling you, I've done it. And
what's it like?
It's the view from the lake is the best view you will ever see. And no one ever, it's crazy. If you live near a big body of water, you probably relate to this. You know, people go, they're like, hey, I live near a beach and I never go. Like people in Florida, like I never go to the ocean. People from Florida don't go to the ocean or whatever.
Yeah.
I am telling you, you're going to be like, this is the craziest experience I've ever had. You've never seen our city from that. We have a beautiful waterfront and they'll sail you in and out through the islands right off the coast of Toronto. And it is a coast. It's a lake coast, but it's a coast. And it's like you get to see the city. It's so big looking back at you. And it's almost like somebody took a city and just cut it in half and moved it like on a cutting board because the big buildings come right to the lake.
But wait a second.
So you see a cross section of a city. It's neat.
I've seen the view from the Tiki Taxi, but it's better than that?
I think it's better than that.
Okay.
Yeah. Tiki Taxi's good. Nothing wrong with Tiki Taxi.
The Tiki Taxi's going too fast. And I'm like, slow down. I want to check it out.
You're worried about not falling off a Tiki Taxi. Yeah.
I've never been. Yeah, I guess I've never been in like little inlets and stuff.
No, you need to sail through it and just and hear the water going, bobbing up against the boat and like, you gotta, it's peaceful. It's beautiful.
You know what?
Beautiful.
You know what? You'd make a good boat captain.
You think so?
I think you'd make a great boat captain.
I grew up doing a lot of power boating. My dad was like a big water skier. But I never did a lot of sailing. I don't know anything about sailing.
I bet you'd be good at sailing.
I couldn't sail with Phoenix.
I bet you'd be good at sailing.
You think so?
You have a trusty demeanor.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like I would feel safe from drowning with you.
I want to be one of those captains on below deck.
Adam,
they have to be making big money.
Adam, you would get into big trouble.
No,
on
I don't
deck.
think I would. I think I'd be like, you know what? No, I'm going to let the drama happen and I'll just observe.
No, you kind of turn into a principal sometimes, which is hot. But like sometimes you'd be like, that's enough. And to the cast and crew, like they're loaded all the time. There's debauchery going. There's relations.
Constantly hungover.
They're constantly
underslept.
hungover. And I don't think that you would like them as employees.
No?
No. But I think that you give them a lot of slack. I think that you would actually be a good leader for the Below Deck cast.
You think I could keep them in line?
I think that you could help them grow.
That's such a crazy show. I love that show so much.
I don't know how we got here, but I'm glad we did.
I did
yeah,
too.
Yeah,
I am glad. That's the great thing about a podcast is you can. Do you watch Below Deck stuff?
Oh.
I've never watched it.
What?
I know.
Okay, Below Deck's great. Below Deck sailing yacht. Below Deck Down
I never
Under.
watched the sailing
yacht's crazy.
Down Under, like Captain Sandy.
Yeah.
You are like you have Captain Sandy vibes.
Love Captain Sandy.
Captain Sandy's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you need to watch
No,
Below
you
Deck.
gotta
It's
watch.
incredible.
It's great. It's so great.
Where's it on?
Hey You, isn't it?
Hey You.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you watch
All right.
any reality show like Beverly Hills and Real Housewives,
It's so good. I was like, I don't know about this. And then all of a sudden it was 4 seasons later. And I was like, I couldn't stop. Like, it's just so
and the
good.
cast changes all the time.
Yeah.
Some people you know, some people you don't. Like, it's like, it doesn't matter who's on it. You're just like, I'm invested in you now.
I would be a yachty for sure. Like I would get on there.
I think it would have been fun.
Yeah.
I wonder about that job though. Like how long can you do that before it like, as a yachty, like
Takes your soul.
Well, yeah, because you see some people there and they're like first mate, but they're like 40.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so is this, I mean, that might just be your life and that's fine. But like, I feel like that's like, there's like a window you can do that in your 20s. And then it's like, okay, I either got to be working towards a captain.
Yeah.
If I want to stay here, or I got to be like getting back on dry land and figuring something else out.
Yeah. Cause I mean, you make a ton of money when you're on it, but it's also like that, the schedule, the drinking, the partying, like that.
They're
would
working like 16 hours a day.
Yeah. That would wear on you. Also, maybe I'm just thinking of one, but the chefs have tempers on that show.
They're
don't
all
they?
crazy. Why are all the chefs crazy? They're all lunatics.
They make
all
great food, but my God, are most of them mad? But also, like, if you are a incredible chef and then you're working with like people having sex in a cot like next to your head,
sometimes that's the chef too, though.
Yeah,
I think always drink the most.
We're thinking about the same chef, I think.
Oh, there's like several.
Yeah,
there's. I don't know. I don't know if people in like who make food. It's such an extreme thing to do.
Yes.
Like for a living.
Yes.
That I feel like you're on the edge of just stress.
A lot of chefs. Yeah. A lot of chefs are just a lot of rage in that kitchen. But I also, there's a lot of substances in kitchens, right?
Is there? Okay.
Especially like in the chef world.
You gotta stay awake.
Yeah. You got to stay awake. You got to be like on it. You got to be perfect. And a lot of chefs are now sober. Yeah.
Oh,
well, look at Matty Matheson. He's talking about it in his book. Yeah, he's like 11 years sober.
Good for him.
He's over 10 years sober, but he was like, he couldn't do it anymore. He was like, I was about to die. And I think that especially in a lot of like big city restaurants, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of drugs. There's a lot of, a lot of drama. So I think, a lot of chefs that I've heard of are sober because they're like, if I want to continue being a chef to, the standard that I want to, I can't operate like this.
Right. Because it can help you for a bit.
You're always drinking. Kitchen culture. Kitchen culture is like, there's a lot of drugs and alcohol. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So kudos to anybody getting sober.
Listen, man, there's a reason why you always see somebody in the back having a cigarette. Like,
oh God, yes.
It's a stressful job.
Like it's
a very stressful
like
job.
This.
Yeah. Yeah. They never look happy or like energized.
They're on a milk crate. They're on a milk crate smoking. And I'm like, I get it. Like I see you out there. Like you've had a rough day. Yeah.